Hello, everyone. This is Steve from True Market Finance. Today is video I'm going to share with you today is going to be just explaining over, you know, why should we get Bitcoin. Um, as you all know, um, my YouTube channel is about finance and personal finance and getting rid of debt and and you also know in there that I'm a super passionate about Bitcoin because it's an appreciating asset, not like our traditional system where it's appreciating asset. So that's why I wanted to kind of just go over um, some of the things of why. Um, why should you get Bitcoin? And it's real easy, and it's simple money um, that works for you instead of against you, and simply can be transferred, put in your pocket, and or 12 words in your head, and go to, if your country becomes horrible. In the old days, if you want to immigrate into another country, or go somewhere else, you couldn't take your finances kind of with you. It's, the governments would confiscate it or whatever it may be. Now with Bitcoin, it takes away all that. It's your money that nobody can tell you or hack into or take over, so that um, you can just take your money with you and go wherever, country or state or whatever it may be, beach. You know, you could just. El Salvador is a perfect example of that when they went over to the Bitcoin standard, and it's it lowered crime rate. It makes people happier, and you can just, if you don't like where you are, you can just go. You can just move with all your money and take it with you. And this is something that the government in the future and is going to um, realize when Bitcoin becomes stronger, that it'll no longer be, oops, I made a mistake, and oops, we know better than, how to run our money than you do. So, just give it all to us, and, we'll, look after it. Well, we've seen how that worked with the printing of money and that power. I can make the perfect example of a show called American Greed. Say these simple guys can, do these, um, build these fortunes, and what happens in the end is they get greedy, and they need more and more, and they need 12 cars and 15 houses, and and as you've seen my video stuff, we don't need all that. You don't need all that just to be happy. That each one of those things is not gonna be. So these guys could build like $1 million and then just go off and, live a happy life. And instead they gotta be power hungry, and eventually they get caught. Well, this is sort of the same thing that's happening to the government. They keep doing these things and need power, and, need wars and all these things, um, to make more money, to take, and I want you to look at yourselves as slaves, which is what we are. We're slaves to our jobs because we spend most of our time there, but we're also slaved to that job, in effect, knowing that in the end we're going to get rewarded for something, that for our time, and time is money. And so what infuriates me about that system, and which is a fine system, that's the way it's worked over time, and the millions of years, and it'll continue that forever, even on the Bitcoin standard. It just will become no longer these people that are greedy and need more power. they will have to give that power back to the people, because we will just not give them the money to do these things, um, because that's what we do now. We don't go and say, hey, I'm gonna, okay, I'm gonna agree this. So what these guys do, they just print more money. They'll just go do it, and then they just print more money, which gives us inflation and lowers the dollar that you've worked so hard. So instead of working for $1 an hour, all of a sudden now you're working for 50 cents or 30 cents an hour. It's it's brutal. Where Bitcoin, um, is appreciating asset. It'll just keep appreciating, appreciating, because there's only 21 million. You can't print more money. You know, you can't print more Bitcoin. I mean, so as these guys keep printing, we just buy more Bitcoin, and then this is only. I hear so often where people go to me and say, Steve, it's too late for me. No, it's not too late. We haven't even begun getting governments in there, states in there, pension funds in there, into Bitcoin. It's starting. All those, Wisconsin's starting to take in Bitcoin. Other countries are starting to, add Bitcoin into their banking systems, and hedge funds, and now the ETF stuff. It's just making it more and more accessible, and these guys have trillions and trillions of dollars. Just look at Michael Saylor. Like, his stock is worth more than Nvidia, because he has an appreciating asset that he keeps adding to. And you'll see more and more of these companies come to realization. They'll go, why am I working so hard when I can just buy Bitcoin? But anyway, let's get into the. I'm so passionate with this, guys, and I want to help everybody, realize how simple your life will become, how simple Bitcoin is, and so that you'll just go out and get some Bitcoin, because it just is the most perfect money ever created in the world. It's is right up there with the beginning of the internet. It's just going to change our lives, and it trades 24/7, and we'll get that into that more in the video kind of thing. So let's get on with that. So if, guys, you could like, share, and subscribe to this channel, that helps all the algorithms and helps people see more of this video. They'll help get people out there, and become educated. There's a lot of people that just go, why would I go and buy Bitcoin? Well, you can share this video. You can like it, subscribe, and then that'll help YouTube get it out to more people, so that they can understand how simple it is and why they should be buying Bitcoin. You know, um, it's as simple as um, living in our means. Like what you got to do is just work hard, make money, but don't spend more than you make. And that's why, again, guys, I always tell you to do a profit loss or income and expense report every month on your stuff, and then print one. I like to do one every 6 months, actually. So I'll do 6 months, and at the end of the year, then I'll do another one. So then I can then see, because it's not the big dollars, guys. You go in, I spent $1,000 on that, or I spent $500 on that. No, it's those little $20, $10, $5. That's why a lot of times I've been preaching again, as well on to YouTube in this channel, and to you guys, is I will take that. Like right now in Neo Financial, I'll get money back from all my groceries. I get 3% there. I get 3% in gas. So at the end of the month, what I'll take is I'll take that, maybe 20, 30, dollars, and I'll transfer that right into Bitcoin. I'll just move it right into Bitcoin and put it into cold storage. Because right now, Bitcoin is, 60,000 US. It's kind of been rolling around there, which again is a great time to be buying this, guys. It's just going sideways for a while and building up energy. And as in I've showed you in the stock market, same thing, just builds up energy, builds up energy, builds up energy, goes sideways, and then it takes off. So as while it's in this spot of a sideways move, is a good time to be buying into Bitcoin. Um, so right now it's 60,000, but in the future it's going to be 100, 200, $300 million coin. So that $20 is now going to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So just and it doesn't take any work at all, except for you just buy it and just roll it over to self storage in like 2 minutes. So like, share, and subscribe so your friends can see this video, so you can go over this video again if you need to, and help you see what the future is coming about. Um, so this is what I've kind of been preaching about. Why should you buy Bitcoin? It's mutable and secure, but cannot be printed. It can't be hacked. It can't be manipulated by the governments, offering a robust safeguard against traditional and financial vulnerabilities. So it's just, as that states, the most perfect money, um, because those things are all of what you want in your money. Next is appreciating asset. Historically, Bitcoin has shown significant value, appreciating over time, positioning itself to potentially a lucrative investment. Again, it's appreciating asset. That's not like our normal dirty fiat we have nowadays that just keeps getting printed and printed and printed. And I think COVID had a bad part of this, is where all of a sudden the governments saw how easy it was to print money and how easy it was to just do what they want, and I think it gave them just a little tad too much power that they didn't know that they kind of somewhat had, and now they're just going berserk. So we have to tame that down. Uh, it's global and exclusive. Bitcoin is accessible to anyone with an internet connection, making it truly global currency that transcends borders and traditional financial barriers. So if you try to move gold bars, which people think is great, which you know doesn't even compare to Bitcoin. Um, it's heavy. It's going to cost you like so much money to move that from Europe to the Americas. It, you just can't do it. It'll cost you so much money to do that. Where with a Bitcoin cold wallet, you can put 12 words in your head, or you can put 12 a device in your pocket or your suitcase, and you take $1 million, $2 million, $10,000, $5,000, whatever you have in that thing, and you just roll across the border every single day or whenever you feel like it. You just pack up and go. It doesn't take energy. It doesn't cost you any more money, and you're gone. It's it's just a simple, easy money that you control. You, nobody else. You control, which is the best way of doing, because you are the one sacrificing your slave labor into your job to get this currency in the end that is just diminishing away. It's just disappearing. It's like a melting, like Michael Saylor puts it a lot of times. It's just a melting ice cube. It's just melting away. Well, Bitcoin's not. It's appreciating. It's portable and convenient, easy to store, transport. Bitcoin in a digital wallet, ensuring you have access to your funds anywhere, anytime. It's fast. Transactions. Bitcoin enables enables instant 24/7 transaction, outpacing traditional banking systems and offering parallel speeds and efficiencies. So this is some of the good things of why you need to buy Bitcoin. So we went over this a little bit a minute ago, guys, about mutable secure Bitcoin. So it can't be hacked. Credit cards traditionally, to banking system confirms in about 30 days. So your world lives on credit. So if I transfer $50 to you or to the bank, and then the bank, or I borrow from that bank, it's always on credit. It never, it's just being transferred to this person, to this person, to this person. But really, the bank still has this, so he's just building a credit until the end of the month when it kind of all catches up. Bitcoin is instant. So when I give you um, $50 in Bitcoin, you instantly have it. I don't have it anymore. It instantly goes to you. And so I can't use that money to then go and give it to somebody else, or give him $50, or him $25 or whatever, and try to, no, it instantly goes. It's now yours. It belongs to you. It's so just a better system than credit. Things can go too wrong in credit, or you live in this world where, well, I'll just print more, or I'll just put it on my credit card. You see how that doesn't work at 21% interest on a credit card, where you can roll into Bitcoin and you're appreciating your asset, and then you can pay with cash. It's a better system. As I showed in here too, guys, gold is too hard and too expensive to move, and you have no worries of the government and their spending mistakes. You just print money and devalue your Bitcoin. It won't happen. They can't. There's, I forget what it is, how many million there is that's been lost, and and people could ever figure out how to get that, hack into that, they'll have the money. But nobody has been able to hack into the system. So it's secure, it's safe. And when you put it into cold storage, which never ever, I'll preach it over and over again to you guys, never leave it on exchange ever. As soon as you buy it, move it into cold storage, move it off there into your own wallet somewhere, and make sure it's safe. You have 12 words. Make sure those 12 words are written down on steel, or locked in a vault or something, so that nobody can access that. That is your keys to your money. And you wouldn't leave a key just laying out for any burglar to find. So you're not going to especially if you have gold bars, you're not going to go, hey, I own, lock a box of like number 250 or whatever, and I leave the key under the mat on my front doors. You would never do that. So never do that with your money. Never trust anybody but you. And nowadays it's getting so much nicer, where now we can get into, which was always a worry in the beginning, was if something happens to me, how does my family get my money? Now they have inheritance plans that help your loved ones get that money in the end. So again, as I was showing, it's appreciating asset. It just keeps growing. And like I was explaining in the beginning of this video, is that we haven't even like, just look at Michael Saylor and his company. If that's the only thing you take from this, just keep looking at his company. His company now had split his stock, and back in the time when COVID and stuff, he just about lost his company, because he has dollars as free cash, and a lot of these companies are doing the same thing. They're using cash that depreciates, so they have to buy back their stock. They have to put out dividends to keep shareholders buying their stock. It's retarded. It's just ridiculous. Where Michael Saylor then, says to himself, and his company goes, he puts this to the company, we can buy this appreciating asset, put all our free cash in that, or we can go bankrupt, So they did that. They took that risk. Now I'm sure it wasn't easy because in the beginning, I've followed them on CNBC and many things, and they were constantly after him, going, "Well, don't you feel stupid for now Bitcoin's down?" No, because it's going up eventually. It's always going to go up, 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 up. And um, those times are hard, guys. I've been through multiple of these down things. They're hard, and you just have to see the big picture of it, and it's kind of an Elon Musk venture, where we all look at him and go, "That's impossible." You can't land a rocket on a freaking platform in the ocean. It's impossible. The waves and everything else is it's impossible engineering task. Yet he does it all the time. Um, you, you kind of got to believe it that way and see that with our current system, the way the internet changed our lives from email, we no longer hardly ever get, it just made everything more easier is probably, I guess, the word. So the same thing is going to happen, and happening in my own life. Bitcoin is easy, and it appreciates. So where I struggle with is this narrative is the same thing that a lot of people do, like Michael Saylor put it in. So now they don't have to, they can leave that cash there for as long as they need till they come up with a project to use it to build whatever. But their stock keeps going up, and people keep wanting to buy their stock and countries are buying their stock as well, banking systems and so on and so forth, because um, of all the Bitcoin they have in there now. It's appreciating because of that. So where the problem I have all the time is now Bitcoin's made my life so simple because I can just roll my paycheck into a Bitcoin and it appreciates on its own. So then I go, okay, I don't have to go buy 10 houses and, get 4% in my bank or whatever it may be because, Bitcoin averages, 40, 50% a year kind of thing. So, you know, so instead of, trying to make my dollars that are depreciating all the time appreciate a little bit somehow by, so what it does is, so then what you, let me sort of stay in my box here because I go all over the place. But what it does is simplifies everything so easily that you can just go and okay, maybe learn a new trade or learn a new job or take an online course or learn a new language or because you just free up all this time that you don't have to worry and try to run all these places and pay for property taxes on multiple places and tenants and everything else. You can just roll in a Bitcoin and it's over, done. You can just go do live your life, which time is precious. It doesn't go in return. Once we've gone through the time in the day, it's over. It doesn't come back. So we got to utilize that well. So with um, with that, you can just keep building and growing in your. It just simplifies everything. It so simplifies um, a system, and so as more and more companies continually keep looking at MicroStrategy and going, seeing how easily it is that you don't have to. Um, your stock can still do well without having to do all these other things, dividends and everything else. Well, then they'll just start doing the same thing. They'll simplify their company, roll into that free cash into Bitcoin, and so it'll just keep going up. So Bitcoin is global, guys. Like, we're not talking about Canada, United States, or some other country that you guys are listening to from my YouTube. Like, this is global. Every person from Africa to um, Cuba to Russia to Canada, US, Britain, anywhere can buy Bitcoin. It's a global payment system that we've never had before in our entire lives. So when you think of how many people are in Bitcoin now, and you think of the world population, like, this is something that I I sit and drive sometimes, and I'm just in awe as the vision I have when I go from the US markets in a day, and then I roll over and start listening to the European markets. It's a whole nother world, just trans transitions over. So think of the Bitcoin in that sense, where you can just transfer, it just keeps going, kind of thing. There's no slowdown. It doesn't matter what the government want to do. It doesn't matter. They can't just print more money to so there won't be wars and there won't be these corrupt people, because there's just we just it gives all that power back to every person personally. um, and that's where I cannot preach about this enough. And if you think you know I've seen a little cartoon the other day where it's like, it's Bitcoin's at 10,000. Oh, it's, no, it's at 20,000. No, it's at 100,000. Oh, maybe I should buy some. But it's too late or something. You're not too late, guys. Like, there's so much more that's coming. Um, so uh, start. If you haven't bought any Bitcoin yet, start adding it into if you want. You don't have to go all the way like myself, where every penny, every dollar, like every cent goes into Bitcoin. Um, uh, you can just start adding, to it. Throw $50 in, throw whatever. It's what's nice about it. There's you can break Bitcoin down so tiny that every single person in the world can afford and have a piece of Bitcoin. So there we go. As we were just talking, it's global exclusive because it's accessible to anyone with an internet connection, making it truly a global currency. And guys, I've heard the same thing. What happens if the government goes and shuts down the internet? Do you realize the civil war that would happen if you shut down the internet? And as we see, we have Elon Musk now that has a satellite in the world. There's going to be multiple other countries that do that. So, want to shut down the internet? All right, I got to have somehow shut down his freaking satellites as well. There's no way. If you could realize, and I was actually watching a show the other day about these hackers who could hack into stuff, and they were explaining, which we can't even fathom, like every single thing we do in our lives, from our fridges to our stoves now to um, our banking systems to our emails to our cars, to every single thing runs on an internet connection. There's data moving all the time. So for them to do that, it would be virtually impossible. Not saying, I guess, everything's possible, but I couldn't even imagine the people would just shut it'd be totally, they would just take over the government if the people would just not tolerate that whatsoever. So there's no worries of that ever happening. Um, and if it does, you have your dollars on cold storage, and you just put it in your pocket and your suitcase, jump on a flight, and you go to the country that does have internet, and your money's all in your pocket. You know, so like I was saying, guys, um, that internet's not going to get shut down anytime soon. So, um, and again, you just go to whatever country that is, that's why I look at it. Some people ask me that or whatever. Right now, El Salvador is like, you know, Bitcoin standard or whatever. I'm like, I'll just put my cold storage in my suitcase, go down there and buy a place on the beach and live a freaking happy life. It's, you know, it works for me. I'm sure there's, people want to, wherever you want to move to, you can just go. It's just, you know, you want to like, be good to me, then I'll just leave. So that's why it's global and inclusive, guys. Anyone in the world, and they're all over the world. Everyone, I had actually a person I was listening to lately, or not lately. It's actually been a while ago. I was listening to, and she was explaining is she was creating this project, but the project um, had expenses or things that she was getting in from all over the world. So she was trying to figure out how she's going to calculate this different currency and and so on and so forth. Like she's trying to figure out how do I get these funds, but without all the hassle of trying to figure out because this currency is going to cost this much and this and then she goes, oh, I can just do it in Bitcoin. So then she just sent out and went, that I'll receive these funds in Bitcoin, and it automatically translates that from their currency to Bitcoin. Like it's just instant, and she has it instantly in her account. Like and it was so smooth and so easy, and that's why global it is. And no system we can do that now in our banking system. Kevin O'Leary made a perfect example one time where if I want to buy, he wants to buy stock in the um, London Stock Exchange, and she wants to move $1 million. It'll take him like a month or more to try and explain to. I don't know if you guys ever bought a house before and everything. The hassle that freaking is to move more than $10,000. It's just brutal. So where if he puts it into Bitcoin or crypto, like, which I don't believe in crypto at all, but it's too unsecure. But with Bitcoin, he could move it within seconds and be on that afternoon on the markets. It's that simple, guys. It's both perfect money, and again, as companies all over the world start seeing how simple it is and how easy it is and how awesome it is to have appreciating asset of your free cash sitting there in Bitcoin instead of cash depreciating away. You can take more time to figure out what projects are more important and so on and so forth, so that um, you don't have to rush into anything because it's just appreciating away there anyway. So you could take your time. And the Apples of the world and everybody else haven't even started doing this, guys. So that's where I'm saying it. Bitcoin is going to launch here soon. So, and even when it launches, like you still got multiple years, like 15, 20, before it ever gets to just like a normal standard. So the funds you can make now is great, or just the funds that appreciating asset being there is appreciated, so it'll just keep growing for you anyway. Well, let's move on to the next one. Portable and convenient. As I was explaining, guys, you got a digital wallet that you can take your funds anywhere, anytime. And if you're worried about whatever, you put 12 words in your head, you move to whatever country, you order yourself a cold card or Trezor or Blockstream Jade, and, punch those freaking 12 words into it, and you are have all your money again. It's as simple as that. Try to do that with gold bars. Try to do that with more than $10,000 worth of dollars. When try and put that in your suitcase, I guarantee before you reach your destination, actually before you even leave the airport, they'll have it confiscated at the government, which is totally ridiculous. It's your money. I should be able to take $10,000, $1,000,000, $12 million if I want in my suitcase anywhere I want, anywhere in the world, anytime. It's my money, and yet, the government's crazy like this. So, we as Bitcoiners love this because now my money is my money. Um, your money is your money in Bitcoin. It can go anywhere you want, anytime, any amount. This doesn't mean $10,000. This is ridiculous. Um, like you can't even buy a car for $10,000 anymore. So, how are you going to pay cash if you want to for cars? It's impossible. It's possible. So this is where it's another reason why Bitcoin. You should buy Bitcoin in this video. It's fast. Transactions 24/7, outpacing traditional banking system, offering unparalleled speeds and efficiency. And that is awesome. We're no longer living in a world of credit. We're lived in a world of instant. You're no longer waiting for a letter to show up in the mail. You send an email, and that letter is there instantly in your inbox of the other person. This is what Bitcoin is in this world, guys. It's this absolute changing the way we all think. This is why I have such a hard time, and I have a hard time explaining to you guys. Like, you have to look out, almost like the Back to the Future thing, where he's riding on this skateboard or whatever, and yet now we have that virtually pretty much now happening kind of thing. You got to look out, beyond, um, back in the day when, you thought, you told your relatives back in the day, I'm going to have a phone and I'm going to do banking on it and everything else. I'm going to be able to send, money, and I'm going to be able to tap a device at the, my store. And it's just, they're going to think you're nuts. Where Bitcoin is that world now. It's appreciating. It's fast. It's easy. It translates into whatever currency, um, anywhere in the world, and you can take that with you anytime, anywhere. So that's the other huge, um, where our banks, try to do any banking after 5 o'clock on a Friday, it won't happen. Where you can do Bitcoin 24/7. It's the way it should be. I shouldn't. My money shouldn't be locked up somewhere in a bank, and I can't access it on the weekend. It's my money. I want to be able to access it. Um, so 24/7 is a good thing in the world of why Bitcoin. You should own Bitcoin. So anyway, guys, I guess that's the end of my video. So I wish I could go back on it for you, but apparently I cannot. But anyway, that's fine. Oop, there we go. So this is why um, you should get Bitcoin. If you haven't started into it already, get into it, guys. Be smart. And then once you're in it, you could use some things. I really like Moonwallet still. It's one of the first wallets I ever used. You could do Lightning or Bitcoin through it. You can send Bitcoin to it, and then you can send it out as Liquid or as Lightning or Bitcoin. Other ones, good ones, Aqua Wallet. Um, and then once you have a few dollars in there, and you can go back to my videos, guys, where I explain to what wallets to use and how, and then you start putting it in cold storage. Start get a Blockstream J that are super cheap, and start learning how to use it. When you get a wallet, I always suggest, guys, when you get, put $50 kind of into it or something like that in Bitcoin, and then move it out to another wallet, maybe half of it, and then move it back, to make sure everything's working um, fine. Make sure you don't lose those 12 or 24 words ever, or you will lose your money. This is what Bitcoin is, guys. Bitcoin is self-sovereign. So you have to think of your own security. You have to think of your own money and protect it. Um, which I know you're all smart like this. Like right now, we put in too much trust in our banking system, too much trust in our government, and you see where that's going. They just want to print more and take more, print more and take more, print more and take more. Well, when Bitcoin becomes the standard dollars around the world, the people will decide what's important, which is what it should be, guys. It's not, government shouldn't be saying this is what we should get or this war we should fight. No, the people don't want to fight it, then we won't. And if, a country wants to attack it, they can't just go, well, once you run out of money in a war, you run out of war. The war ends. So, but right now we just keep feeding it, printing more money, and keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. So it just keeps going until somebody eventually says, "No, I'm not giving you any more money." Then it'll stop. Um, so the people then decide what is important, and then it equals out. You can't go and lobby the government and say, hey, I'll give you X amount of millions of dollars, but I want this favor, this favor, this favor, and make me rich. It makes everybody equal. You can't print more, so whatever you buy you have, and it's just the most perfect money. And again, it's super difficult to retrain your brain to think I need all these things to work so hard to try and get a few pennies to make my dollars appreciate. Well, Bitcoin, it's as simple as buying Bitcoin and putting it in cold storage and forgetting about it. It just, because it's always appreciating. It's not depreciating away, like your regular dollars. You could, buy, put money in a trust fund and so on. But it's with inflation and everything, those dollars are melting away like an ice cube. Bitcoin's not. You can lock away Bitcoin for your relatives now in a locked thing and say, hey, they can't access it till they're like whatever of age for your grandkids that you don't even know of in the future. But when it gets there, then it's going to be appreciated for them. It's growing for them. It's not dwindling away. Like I saw a chart the other day where house years ago was worth maybe $100,000 or wherever, and it cost you possibly like 660 Bitcoin, and then you get back to today's age, and it's like a $450,000 house, and it takes like 3 Bitcoin. Like it, it it it's it's appreciating, guys. Like it just grows, and I'll leave it to you. I would love to like take your hand and like force you to do it because you'll just see how beautiful it is in the future. But this is something we as individuals need to kind of look at our own finances, and this is and see, do I want my life simpler? It's as simple as that. Do I want my life simpler? Do I want to make money for my hard work that I do every single day, where I spend more time at my job than my own family in my own house? Do I want to sacrifice all that time and energy to have something that's melting away on me? So then I have to work even harder. You know, same thing I heard again. You could pay a guy in McDonald's Bitcoin and get, you know, $15 an hour or $10 an hour, say for an easy number. And you pay him in regular fiat, and you really, after everything and depreciation and everything else, he's probably making like $5 an hour. Where if he is getting paid in Bitcoin, it's appreciating. So he's really making, at like 25, 40, 50% a year. So if that $10 is really like $20 an hour, um, or $30 an hour. So, why would I want to work over this McDonald's making, $10 an hour, where I could really work over this McDonald's getting paid in Bitcoin, getting like 30, 40, $50 an hour? It's like, I know where I would go. So it's as simple as that, guys. What do you want? Do you want to keep working harder every single day, or do you want to buy Bitcoin and make your life simpler? It's as easy as that, and it's such a simple thing. You can look at my past videos. You can send me a message. I will try my best to share more. You can follow me on Twitter. I will help you there. Um, and I'm here for you. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end the video at that. I hope that helped you of why you should get it. Bitcoin, not any of the other coins, guys, because they all have owners, they all have CEOs, they all have governments that can manipulate them. That is including Ethereum. Ethereum is buying it. The U.S. government wasn't allowed to buy, a stable coin or get a stable, like a regular coin, and they're using Ethereum. That Ethereum is buying up U.S. dollars, treasuries. It's the same thing. Bitcoin is all on its own, guys. It's can't be manipulated, can't be bought, can't be. It is Bitcoin, the one and only thing that is just um, what everyone should have, for their financial future and to make their life simpler. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave the video at that. I hope you enjoy it. And like, share, and subscribe, like we have right in here. Like, share, and subscribe this channel, and let me know. Hit the like button, guys. Share, subscribe, and we can get this videos out to more and more people, so that they can make their life easier and more secure, and they don't have to work quite so hard for the same dollar. They can actually get a pay raise without even going to their boss. So they don't even have to ask that, put that stress in of asking for a raise. You just get an automatic raise every single week, every single day, every single year. So think about it, guys, and let me know. Like, share, and subscribe, and have a great day, guys.